You're listening or watching to Marvelous Book, and in this episode, I'm gonna talk about the social software. 9 features that will make a software product successful. Most of the software products that I've developed myself are missing one secret ingredient of success for one reason or another being social. Making something social increases the popularity of whatever product automatically. When a lot of people use something, the product could generate money in a lot of ways if the appropriate strategy is applied. When a lot of people use something, uh, this automatically brings up the feedback on how to improve it, and this generates the cycle of improvement and development in a good direction. So for one reason or another, I've rarely implemented these functionalities. In some deeper sense, they are tricking and manipulating people psychologically to engage in the products. You see, the software is just a tool. It is gray, it is soulless, it is inhumane in itself. What brings the humanity is the person behind that behind the device. So, even if the software is colorful, shiny, cool, innovative, modern, all these words that describe the software are magic in the head, magic in people's heads. From functional point of view, here are the features that you should include in your software to make it social, or at least in some small or indirect way. Comments. Anything could have comment, even the comment itself. To make to bring up user experience, to allow most people to follow up, to catch up with the comments. Most of the systems around the internet have implemented up to 2 level of commenting. You could make a comment about some core data model and a comment to that comment, and no more than 2 levels. Only Twitter and probably fairly low number of systems allow more than 2 levels of commenting. Rating. Rating is giving stars from 1 to 5 or something like that, and it often is accompanied with a comment, a feedback, or just simple opinion. And feedback or simple opinion, this is very popular information block attached to whatever, a software, a product, a place, a famous individual that offers some services, and what a lot of kinds of items have ratings. Tagging others. One of the keys to make some product social is allowing interaction between the users, between each other, and within the specific data record of content of the platforms. The possibility of group chat was part of the earliest instant messaging software. Even in old service like email, people could send messages to multiple people simultaneously. It is also by making people join forces with others in content. For example, making others, marking others in photos was one of the earliest version in the earliest version of Facebook. One of the key feature that made it so addictive in some sense and consequentially successful because pictures are visual in their nature, and integrating it with interacting with other, it created very addictive functionality. So tagging others in comments, opinions, photos, events, check-ins, and more is the psychological tickle that makes people come back. People, there is also another tickle in the psychological area about the need of people to be right. They post something and they fight with others endlessly, so to show the others that they are right and the other is wrong. Numbers, likes, followers, views, and other statistics. People are competitive. They like to measure and they compare stuff with each other. And this is one of the tricks themselves. One of the ways people trick themselves and others of success by some custom, rarely important, often privately owned scale of numbers about something like views and reach and whatever name you put it. These are just some numbers in some private database. The sums and the counts are miracle numbers of third-party service database, and it is tricking users. But if you implement them properly in your software, you could figure out the functionality, the modules, and the part of software or service or website that is of importance to the users and the clients, and invest more time in improving only the part that is more popular. Another thing is games contain contests and questions. As users of big platforms, to trick people to interact with your content and beat the algorithm. Product owners are able to spread to the world about their offers by creating games and contests. One example is giving stuff for free. It may look counterproductive, but if the cards are well played, the balance is not only covered, but it goes on positive direction. And when the actual product or service is of low cost or low production, the 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 profits go up. Push notifications. Another thing that people don't like to do is wait. Nowadays, with the abundance of constantly flowing information, the attention window for a single thing is very, very short. Try to use push notifications to force users to interact fast to a post, picture, comment, or else. The content is going deep in the feedback uh, news feed, and it loses popularity. It is still there, but it gets irrelevant to the individuals, to the users. Using push notifications, an app could inform instantly others about an interaction of a single participant. The reaction time gets much shorter, and possibly this could allow possibly to make something viral. And the only trick is to first create content that clicks in the people's heads, that to create the need of people to interact. Another aspect of success is the feeling of ownership of the profile and the content. When users post content around the internet, they could get the feeling that everything is theirs. All their registrations, all their images, posts, comments, articles, videos are their possession because they are accessed with their user profile credentials. And while in some sense all this all this content is theirs, it is true. It is a copy, and it is copied from uh, only if the content is not copied from someone else's course or clicking submit or equivalent label. This publishing something to a platform gives uh, gives permission to the site to do whatever they want with your content. There are some GDPR restrictions in place from some time now, but these rules are just legal and philosophical makeup. Applying full control of the users over their content is hard and probably even impossible. And when you are on a service creating site, these rules are just one more requirement to fulfill to be legally compliant with the internet. The key of increasing the feeling of ownership is making the content publicly accessible first and then moderating it. The lack of pre-access to other verification is a key feature to inject the feeling of ownership to the profile. And other ways to make the content look like owned by users is using the appropriate texts in labels, menus, and input fields. What what's on your mind today, and something like that. Other tricks are, for example, putting the profile picture alongside the comment box, and this tricks people subconsciously, and they think that this is their stuff. Another aspect of a successful software is making money. Because we live in an economic world, money is an important aspect of life. Implement a feature to allow users to make some money somehow from the software by selling something or creating some product themselves that will be sold to others, and there are a lot of ways. This is one of the keys to trigger users to come back, because while we live in under the economic system of the West, money will be required every day to cover up our basic human needs like food, shelter, electricity, and so on. And these needs assure repeatability of the need of making money in the long run. Endless content feed. A central place in every big social platform is list full of endless content. This content is generated by the users. This type of service somewhere in the past were named Web 2.0. The tricky part of this feature is the new content that is shown to the user to be relevant to him. So this will trick him to interact. Otherwise, it is just unprioritized flow of stuff. Facebook, using the friends graph, was able to relatively make it addictive by showing content of friends, and friends usually interact with stuff that is common, that has a common interest. For the current moment, very few other places or products have achieved this personalization good enough, so so their platform to become successful. And probably including few of these features will increase the user base, but notice how the big internet platforms that are successful have included all these aspects to make themselves social. I'm seeing all these features in Facebook, for example. Making money in the marketplace is, for example, missing in Instagram. I think they're planning to integrate some kind of e-commerce within the Instagram, but currently I'm not sure they have it. There are few more things missing in other social networks like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Snapchat and TikTok. And probably nobody is going to be next Zuckerberg until a platform or a service doesn't have all the above features. And there are also other tricks, psychological, magical spells that marketers know. But this is for another episode.